Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is coat. C-O-A-T.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again, and tonight I've got $4,500. It's the biggest big question in the history of this show. Now, George Fenneman, who's first to try for the $4,500?
Well, we invited some doctors to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air...
need one,
our studio audience selected Dr. Eugene Hoffman. His partner is a housewife from the audience, Mrs. Mildred Gordon. And here they are, folks. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And you say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something people wear. A doctor and a housewife, eh? Mrs. Mildred Gordon, where are you from?
I'm from Kansas.
Kansas?
That's right.
Oh. What is your hometown, Doc?
I'm from Effingham, Illinois.
Where?
Effingham, Illinois.
You just made that up, didn't you?
No, that's a real town.
I should imagine that you would be from Medicine Hat, being that you're a doctor.
No, that's too far north.
I see. And pretty feeble, too, as a joke, huh? Now, Doctor, is it true that most medical men are specializing nowadays?
No, the trend now is towards general practice, where your hands are not tied.
I see. That's a good idea for a doctor. I never like to see a doctor with his hands tied. Unless he's got his eye on my appendix. You know, I go to a brain, liver, and kidney specialist twice a week. Maybe you know him.
What's his name?
I don't know his name. He's the butcher in Beverly Hills.
No, on the contrary. It's very interesting.
Don't get too interested. He'll send you a bill. Why should you be interested?
Well...
You look like a fairly healthy specimen.
I write mystery and suspense stories, so naturally I'm interested in the medical aspects of murder.
Oh, I see. Well, what are some of the unusual ways you've used to murder people? I'm sure the doc here will be fascinated.
Well, are you asking out of curiosity, or do you have homicidal intentions?
Well, I'd say it's about 50-50.
There are people listening, you know. I hope.
Well, I'm sure someone will be listening to this.
Well, I'll tell you, you buy a copy of our book, Make Haste to Live. I've got a lot of ways to murder people in there, a whole long list of them.
Can I get one wholesale? Doc, has anything embarrassing ever happened in your work? I mean, of someone who's still alive.
Yes, I've had several embarrassing things happen to me. In surgery, for instance. One time we were operating, and...
What do you mean we? There was two of you working on this victim at the same time?
Oh, there was more than that. There was 5 of us.
You must have cut him up good, huh? And he got 5 bills at the conclusion of this operation?
No, only 1.
Oh, I see. But what happened?
Well, my assistant was tying...
What part were you operating to begin with?
We were taking out a kidney.
It took 5 of you to take out 1 kidney?
Yes.
I took out a kidney the other night, and it was just me and she. That's not very grammatical, but authentic. Well, what happened?
And as I took off the hemostat, why, his tie slipped.
His tie slipped?
Well, his suture, the catgut that he was using to tie off the bleeder, you see.
Well, if the tie fits you, it'll suit you all right. I sucked that out of him, didn't I?
So I said to the scrub nurse, give me a stick tie. And nothing happened, and when
Well, I should think not, huh? How many scrub nurses have a stick tie? We usually wear a blouse and a skirt and then a coat.
So when nothing happened, I looked up, and everybody was laughing, and I suddenly found out that I didn't have any pants on. I'd lost my pants. So then the circulating nurse came along, and she said...
Now, had this nurse been circulating before you lost your pants? That's what I'd like, a circulating nurse.
Yes, that was part of her duties to circulate.
I see.
So she came along and said, "Doctor, may I pick up your pants?" So I said thank you, and she did, and we went on with the operation.
Now, was the victim still alive while all this was going on? He didn't know what was going on at all.
No,
Did you tell him later?
No, never told him.
Well, Doc, I'm glad you're here. That was very interesting and kind of revealing. Now, let's see how well you can work together as a team. In just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $4,500 question. But first, here's something of importance.
Folks, you've been hearing me tell about how much smoother, how much more comfortable the new DeSoto rides. In fact, no other car rides like a DeSoto. And I've told you that the Oriflow shock absorbers are largely responsible for this remarkable ride. So I thought you might like to know more about these great new shock absorbers. Actually, they give maximum effectiveness on all kinds of roads, from a gently rolling road to a really rough one. That's because the new Oriflow shock absorbers are designed to adjust automatically for every type of road bump. But that's not all. DeSoto's longer wheelbase and full cradled ride also assure you of added comfort. And DeSoto's chair-high seats and big, wide doors give you living room comfort. And, of course, it's DeSoto that lets you drive without shifting. So, folks, visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer and drive the new 1951 DeSoto. Yes, see for yourself why no other car rides like the new DeSoto.
All right, now let's see if you two will get a chance at the $4,500. Squire, would you mind explaining the rules?
Not at all. You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions. And the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $4,500 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected places with presidents' names. Now, how much of the 20 are you going to try?
15?
Yeah.
15.
$15. All right. What's the name of the world's highest dam? It bears the name of one of our presidents.
Hoover Dam.
Hoover Dam is correct.
And you're off to a good start. You have $35.
Remember, you're going for $4,500 tonight. Now, how much of your $35 will you bet on your second question?
29.
29. The capital of Missouri bears the name of one of our most famous presidents. Which one?
Jefferson City.
Jefferson City is correct.
You now have $64.
$64 question. Here's your third question. How much will you bet on this one?
$60.
$60. Bob Burns comes from a town in Arkansas bearing a president's name. What is the name of this town? Oh, that's a shame. It's too bad. Well, it's Van Buren. You should have known that.
You now have $4.
Well, that's too bad. Well, you got $4, and this is your last chance to beat the other couples. How much would you bet?
Why, sure.
$4. Okay. The second largest city in Nebraska is also named after one of our presidents. What is the name of this city?
Lincoln.
Lincoln is right.
Groucho, before they go, you wouldn't want them to go with just $8, would you?
No, I wouldn't. I'll give you one more question. If you get it right, you win $10. Think hard now, and please no help in the audience. Ready? Who was buried in Grant's tomb?
McKinley was.
General McKinley Grant is right. Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Thank you very much. Groucho, the secret word is still the same. It's coat. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a door-to-door bakery salesman and a housewife. And here they are, Mrs. Amy Gaston and Mr. John Chua. Come on in here and meet Groucho Marx, folks.
Welcome, folks, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something people wear. Mrs. Amy Gaston. Huh? Is that right?
Right.
You're the housewife?
Yes, I am.
Where are you from, Amy?
Los Angeles.
Born here?
Right.
Is that so? Native girl, huh?
That's right.
Mr. John Chua?
That's right.
What kind of a name is that, John?
It's Slavish.
Slavish?
Yeah.
You're a Tito man, huh?
That's
Yugoslavia?
right. Yeah.
Well, at present, he's a very good man. Huh? You're a door-to-door bakery man?
That's right. I work for the Helms Bakery.
Oh, Oh, I see. You go around from door to door with your bakery goods, is that right?
That's right.
I suppose your job is one long loaf, eh? One long loaf. I suppose you hear that quite often, don't you?
Yeah, I sure do. Usually when I hear that, I always tell them I'm glad my bread isn't as stale as a joke.
When you tell them that, do you usually have a bun on?
I got one handy.
Are you married, John?
Yeah.
How did you meet your wife?
Well, I met my wife down in the skating ring.
Was her salary frozen at the time?
No, salary wasn't frozen. I was in the service and didn't have anything to do. Wound up in the skating ring, and she was behind the counter drinking sodas.
You mean they drafted you and put you in a skating ring?
No, they didn't draft me. No, I went in by my own self.
Oh.
No drafting.
And then you hid in the skating rink until the war was over?
No.
You were just a kind of a gay blade there, huh? That goes with the bun joke. You're a housewife, and you're from Los Angeles, huh? What sort of work does your husband do, Mrs. Gaston?
He's the manager of a gourmet Beverly restaurant in Beverly Hills.
Oh, I thought you looked rather well fed. How did you meet your husband?
Well, we were both working at Lockheed during the war, and finally one day I heard through the grapevine that he was going to be drafted in the Army Air Corps, so I had a chance to have him sign some papers. I was in the engineering department. But he came back that evening to get his coat.
You said the secret word. You said coat. You said the secret word, coat, and you and your friend over here, Mr. Chua, here's $50 apiece. And then you got married?
Well, then, of course, he did hit the Army Air Corps, and he was in a German internment camp, so it was about 2.5 years later.
How long have you lived here in Los Angeles?
29 years.
Mrs. Gaston, how many candles did you have on your last birthday cake?
21.
Oh, come now. When were you born?
1921.
1921. This is... Let's see. 1921 to 1951. That's 22, 26. What happened to the other candles? Wouldn't they light?
Well, the last time I had a birthday cake, it was on my 21st birthday.
Pretty sly, aren't you? Well, you outfoxed me. Obviously, you weren't born yesterday. You're a door-to-door salesman.
That's
and,
right.
How do you operate? I should have asked the doctor that, I guess. Well, okay. How do you operate?
Well, I load my truck with Helm's merchandise every morning. And
Well, when it's loaded, do you have a bun on?
got quite a few buns on, yeah.
Well, if you stay in your truck, how does the housewife know you're there? Do you throw a biscuit through the side of the house?
No, she hears my whistle.
That sounds like interesting work, huh? You mean you just whistle and women come bounding out of their houses?
That's right.
How much would you charge to teach me the Helms whistle? Let me hear you whistle, John. Go ahead. Pretend I'm a housewife, and I'm inside burning my husband's dinner. Now, exactly what do I hear?
Oh, brother. That's about the best I can do.
What kind of women do you get with that whistle? They better be wearing their hearing aids. Now, how does your bakery stuff compare with your wife's baking?
Oh, brother, that's hard to answer.
Of course, if you answer, you lose either your wife or your job. Answer me, John.
Well, all I can say is our bakery goods are hard to beat.
Congratulations, John. You just lost your wife. Now you want to try for 2 wives. What's the most popular item your bakery turns out?
Well, we got marble cakes, coconut cakes, jelly donuts, Tuesdays, Fridays.
Jelly donuts Tuesdays and Fridays.
That's right.
Well, that's the way it should be. Jelly donuts Tuesdays and Fridays, matinees Wednesdays and Saturdays. How much are your jelly donuts on Tuesdays and Fridays?
60 cents a dozen.
And how much are they on Mondays and Wednesdays?
We don't have them them days.
Well, they ought to be a lot cheaper on Mondays and Wednesdays. That's the old egg joke, you know, about the fella goes in the grocery store and says, how much are your eggs? And the grocer says, 70 cents a dozen. He says, cracked eggs are 40 cents a dozen. He says, okay, crack me a dozen. It was easier to crack those eggs than it was that joke, I assure you. Do you get many calls for wedding cakes?
Oh, yeah, they're special order cakes.
Well, could you describe a wedding cake? Do they all have Governor Dewey on top?
No. We don't have
How about birthday cakes?
That's special order cake, too.
Well, how do you sell them?
Well, they come $2.50.
Suppose I wanted candles on my cake. How much would that run?
Well, that's cost extra, too. They're a penny apiece.
A penny a candle?
Penny a candle.
Well, I'd need 40 of them. The reason I only need 40 is because I always burn the candle at both ends. How do you get to know your customers, John?
Well, they get out in the truck there and start to buy your merchandise. You get 2, 3 come around there, and you get to talking with them, and next thing you know, well, you're pretty friendly with them.
You ever tell them jokes, John, like, I hope my bread is as fresh as you are?
Oh, now and then, yeah.
Could you tell us one of your jokes? One of your home-baked specials? Come on, let's hear a wheeze, huh?
Oh, well, about the woman come out and asked the baker man if he had any good marble cake, and the baker man said, yeah. He says, would you like to try a piece? She says, no. She says, I'll take it for granted.
Well, that's a baker's joke, all right. You need a lot of crust to tell a joke like that. Did you have a bun on when you told that joke? Well, it's been entertaining talking to a bakery man, and if I ever need any dough, John, I'll go to the Bank of America. Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at $4,500. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but Mr. Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The doctor and the housewife won $8.
Now, here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected child movie stars. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
15.
15?
All right, 15. What is the name of the former child star who teamed with Charlie Chaplin?
Jackie Coogan.
Jackie Coogan is right. John, you should have known that, Coogan, because Coogan means cake in German.
You folks now have $35.
Remember, you're going for $4,500 now. That's a lot of money. How much of the 35 will you bet this time?
Made about 30.
$30. The Wizard of Oz starred a young girl who has developed into one of the top talents in pictures. What's her name?
Judy Garland?
Judy Garland is right.
You're climbing now. You have $65.
Here's your third question. How much of the 65 are you going to risk? $50. Okay. What is the name of the English child star who starred as Little Lord Fauntleroy?
Oh, I know it. What is his name?
Talk it over. I'm sorry. It's Freddie Bartholomew. Should have known that.
You now have $15.
You now have $15. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much are you going to bet?
No words. Get it over with.
$15? Mm-hmm. An English picture elephant boy made a star out of a kid from the Far East. What's his name?
Sabu.
Sabu is right.
And you wind up with $30.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Groucho, the secret word is still Coke. We invited some little girls and some doll makers to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Lynn Crookston and Mr. Joseph Reich. Folks, come on in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, kids, to You Bet Your Life. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something people wear. A doll maker and a little girl, eh? Mm-hmm. Miss, you're the little girl, huh?
Yes.
Well, you could be a doll maker, too, you know. How old are you, Lynn?
8.
8?
Mm-hmm.
Are you from the East?
No.
That's too bad. I could call you East Lynn if you were. You're 8 years old, huh?
Yes.
And you're the doll maker?
Yes.
How old? You're more than 8, huh?
Oh, just about 48.
48?
That's right.
Where are you from?
New York.
Where were you born, Lynn?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles?
Mm-hmm.
Right here. How come you were born in Los Angeles?
Because that's where my father works.
Well, it's always nice to be born near your father. Of course, it's more convenient to be born near your mother. What sort of work does your father do, Lynn?
He's a fireman.
A fireman? Does he wear red suspenders?
Yes. I guess so.
Why does he wear red suspenders, do you know?
I guess to hold his pants up.
I don't understand how a girl 8 years old knows a joke that old. I hope she doesn't start with that bun-on joke before. Are you married, Mr. Rich? Reich?
Yes, sir.
How do you pronounce it, Rich or
Reich.
Reich, huh? You're not married?
I am.
Oh, you are married. Are you married, Lynn?
No.
Why aren't you married? An attractive, charming girl like you?
I'm not old enough.
Well, that's true. How old do you think you ought to be before you got married?
26.
26?
26.
Why do you want to wait that long? Don't you think 18, 19 would be a nice age to get married?
No, because I want to go to college.
And it's going to take you to 26 to get out of college?
Oh, I don't know.
You'll go through with flying colors, Lynn. If this conversation we're having is any example. Let's talk about dolls. What's your job at the company, Joseph?
Well, to see the dolls go out as production man.
Oh, you're a production man?
Yes.
What kind of dolls do you manufacture at your place?
All kinds. Soft, hard dolls, skin dolls.
What makes a doll hard? Some bitter experience?
No, not exactly. It's the material content. Some are plastic.
Isn't it wonderful how they make dolls these days? They even talk.
They sure do.
What I'd like is a doll that doesn't talk. What doll company do you work for?
No more electric.
An electric company makes dolls?
That's
Well,
right.
some of the dolls I've been out with have been pretty shocking, but I didn't... Do you have a boyfriend, Lynn?
Yes.
How old is this Prince Charming?
But 8 3/4.
Is that his height or his age?
His age.
8 3/4, huh? Do you prefer older men? Do you think I'm too old, for example?
You mean to get married? What do you mean?
Lynn, you don't have to sound quite so alarmed. How old do you think I am?
Well, about 35.
That's what I like about kids. They're not afraid to tell you the brutal truth. Well, thanks to you two, I know all about dolls. Now, then we're going to play the big game. Let's see how well you make out in the quiz. You run your $20 and no more than our other couples. And you get a chance at the $4,500 question. I can't tell you how much the other couples won, but George Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The bakeryman and the housewife are leading with $30.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected largest cities in the States. Here's your first question. Now, how much of the 20 are you going to bet?
Well, how many do we want to bet?
15, maybe.
15 out of the 20.
$15. What is the largest city in Colorado?
Denver.
Denver is right.
When you're on your way, you have $35.
You're on your way with 35, and remember you're going for $4,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 35 are you going to try?
25.
All right, 25.
You know who wears the pants in that
Yes.
family. All right, what's the largest city in Arizona?
Phoenix.
Phoenix is right. I look at it myself. I always thought it was Cleveland.
You're really climbing. You have $60 now.
You got $60, Len. Here's your third question. How much of the 60 are you going to bet?
50.
Don't let them push you around, Len.
Take 50 of it.
Okay, what's the largest city in Iowa?
Des Moines.
Des Moines is right.
You're up there now. You have $110.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 110 are you going to risk?
Take 90.
All right.
$90. What is the largest city in Idaho?
Boise.
Boise is right.
You wind up with $200, and that means that you, too, with your $200, get the chance of the DeSoto Plymouth $4,500 question.
Now it's up to you.
Now, in just 1 minute, I'll ask them the big question. But first, I want everybody to pay attention to a matter of great importance.
By now, you're probably one of the many thousands who have seen the superb new DeSoto, either at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers or riding along the road with some friend proudly seated behind the wheel. Well, then, I don't have to tell you it's a beautiful car to look at. Long and low with sweeping lines from front bumper to rear bumper. Yes, it is a lovely car, this 1951 DeSoto. One you'll be proud to have in your driveway. And it's more than just a beautiful automobile. It's as economical a car to own and to operate as has ever been designed. In the first place, it costs you only a little more than the lowest price cars. And day after day, week after week, the economy of owning a new DeSoto becomes more evident to you. Its new, more powerful engine makes the most of every gallon of gas. And, of course, it has fluid drive with tip-toe shift, the perfected automatic transmission that lets you drive without shifting. So hurry on down to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers and get behind the wheel of the greatest car ever to bear the famous name DeSoto. No other car rides like it.
All right, here we go for $4,500. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully, and please no help from the audience. The only known diamond mine in North America can be found in the Wonder State. For $4,500, tell me, what is the Wonder State? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Alaska.
No, I'm sorry. The answer is Arkansas.
So close to it.
Correct answer is Arkansas. That means the big question next week will be worth $5,000. Well, you lost the big money, but how much did they win in the quiz, George?
Well, $200 in the quiz, Groucho.
Well, congratulations and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $5,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. The 3 R's of safe driving are ready, reasonable, right. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman, signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.